Do business, act business.
The United Nations Global Plan of Action for Road Safety is here for every single one of us to definitely key into, as well as the UN Global Road Safety Week that has brought about things that will help everybody to certainly become road safety aware. On this program, part of our campaign is also to create awareness in these regards, knowing the fact that the road is one common heritage we all share, whether you are in the formal sector or the informal sector. Ensuring that every other road users, including yourself, remain safe on the road is a responsibility and duty that especially businesses certainly has to make a policy concern, so that at the end of the day, we will not register or record any deaths or mishaps on our road. You're welcome to Business Matters, where business truly does matter. And my name is Stephen Ipalibo Lawson, your host.
Business matter. Let's talk business. Business matter.
The cost of road accidents is one thing that we begin to see as a data worth exploring. The impact of that particular data is obviously on the negative, especially what it costs businesses as well as the health sector. Ensuring that our GDP does not reflect a figure that certainly shows the fact that our enabling business environment is negatively impacted because we are not concerned about road safety. And so is a major concern and awareness, especially for us here on this program, to contribute our own quota in ensuring that we have a very safe road for everyone to use. Let's have a business update.
Business matter.
Hey beautiful, your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight. Now reading page 3. Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Entel 4G.
Entel. Live more.
Business matter.
On this edition, we had to invite a top commanding officer in Nigeria's leading road safety organization to help us understand what exactly our different roles are in ensuring that we optimize not just road safety, but certainly contribute our own quota. Let's have our professionals segment. Thank you very much for staying tuned on Business Matters. This is the segment, like we introduced, that discusses on some of the major concerns or subject that is very dear to our hearts as business interests as well as our viewers. And today we have in the studio no other person than a zonal commanding officer in charge of Zone 2, which is Lagos and Ogun State. He has a bachelor's degree in geography from the Usman Danfodio University, as well as a master's degree in security and strategic studies from the Nigerian Defense Academy in Kaduna. is a man whose leadership skills has further been honed by attending other senior management courses, especially the one at the California Highway Academy in the United States of America, as well as the National Defense College in Abuja. He's a very passionate man, a family man, and is indeed going to help me explore the topic, the role of business in optimizing road safety, especially here in Nigeria. Please help me make welcome ACM Peter KIBO, FDC. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm very excited because earlier on off camera, we and I were talking that one of the most common heritage we all share as a people and as Nigerians is the road. Do you agree with me, sir?
Yes, definitely. The road is where we all meet. Whichever field of endeavor you are, both the innocent, the criminals, everybody uses the road. And we meet all sorts of people on the road. So we make the use of the road as a common factor for everybody.
Now, this is a business program which we're very excited. So somebody might wonder, what exactly do we have the zonal commanding officer attending here? And I say to people that road safety is a concern for every single one of us. I mean, you and I are aware of the United Nations Global Road Safety Week, as well as the Decade, which is a global plan to ensure that the rate at which people die from road accidents is far, far reduced. And so far, we've seen how things have gone. In your own professional experience, how well have we done in regards to how much of those road accident and mishap we've reduced? Because we know it has huge cost on the economy.
Yes, you are right. But in our own, the Federal Road Safety have been trying a lot in that aspect, especially as we have discovered that the speed is a major factor in the severity of the injuries and deaths on our road. If we are to actually reduce the number of deaths on our roads, which is one of the major goals of the Federal Road Safety for this year, that the road traffic crashes should be reduced by 15%
right,
and the fatalities by 20%. So if we are to really go by that, we must make sure that we involve everybody, especially the drivers, to reduce the speed limit. That is why we have introduced the speed limiting device to ensure that, especially the commercial vehicles, install the speed limiting device to ensure that we go at the control speed. And if you look at this year's, the theme for this year's United Nations Safety Week, you find out that the theme there is streets for life.
Yes.
And the 30 kilometers per hour. These are ways in making sure that as far as speed is concerned, we take into consideration that in the built-up areas, in cities, in villages, wherever traffic meets the pedestrian, the people, we must reduce the speed by 30 kilometers per hour. Because if we do that, you find out that even if accident occur, the severity of that accident will be less. And sometimes, in most cases, if you go within that control speed, you find out that there may not even be any fatality.
Now, we know that this particular edition is a campaign in terms of creating widespread awareness, especially with road safety, because you can never have it enough. And we know that because road is one of the common heritage we all share, everybody has a responsibility towards that. Yet, we know businesses play a very key role in a lot of things. Sometimes we say they go through it through their CSR's program, corporate social responsibility as well. Do you think, or would you advocate that every business in Nigeria should have a road safety policy in part of their mode of operations?
Yes, as you have rightly pointed out, the road is a place we all meet, both businessmen and what have you. And of course, the wastage of more hours on the road, especially as regards to bad roads, causing accident and gridlocks, all these constitute part of the business. Because if somebody is coming, for example, to Lagos to do business, he will land at the airport in good time. Mm-hmm. But maybe before he get to his place that he want to transact that business, he will spend more than the time that it took him to arrive Lagos. But we have been trying to improve on that over some time through public enlightenment, through through education, and to also involve the stakeholders, especially the business partners. And you remember very well when the executive order of ease of doing business was signed, that is executive order 001, is all in a way to ease the way people transact their business, including how fast you are able to reach your destination and transfer your business and go back. So we are involving the stakeholders, both private, public, to ensure that all hands are put on deck to ensure that all these bad roads, if you see massive construction, rehabilitation going on both by the public, the private, and the state governments, all in an attempt to make sure that there is a faster way of improving our movement within Lagos and its environment.
But one of the things I want to bring as a major concern, I mean, you oversee Lagos and Ogun State, so obviously you get all kinds of reports. On the Lekki-Ekpe axis, you have a lot of those tippers who actually lift sand, they have to go sell, and then that is itself a business enterprise on its own. However, one of the things we realize is that a lot of people oftentimes find themselves in a situation whereby they are compelled to, express road rage, because a lot of these tippers play incessantly with their horns. Is there a law against, indiscriminate honking and the rest of that in this country or in this state?
You see, distractions on the road, which in whichever way is bad for other road users, including the indiscriminate blowing of horn. You don't blow horn unnecessarily, or the aim of blowing horn is just to make sure that the people are aware that the vehicle is coming, not to scare them away. And that is why we are also talking not only the tipper drivers, any other vehicle, you should blow a horn with a purpose.
Yeah, but the tipper drivers they are far becoming nuisances on the road, and I'm sorry I have to put you on spot, because you see a lot of times where yes, they're all the responsibility, but they have associations. Is it that your organization or some other organizations don't put them to make sure they behave properly on the road? Like you said, distractions can actually lead to accidents.
Yes, we will never rest. We will continue to enlighten, we will continue to educate, and we will continue to train the drivers, which we have been doing over the years. But in most cases, the factor is, the main reason there is that you see some people who don't find it difficult to obey the law, except they are forced to do so.
That's true.
But it's not that they are ignorant of this aspect, especially those who have driver's license. Because in the system that we have now, it's very difficult for you to have a driver's license without going through the driving school. And that driving school is taking care of all those aspects to make sure that any driver that is qualified and is given a certificate that he is qualified to drive, that is the beginning. You must have gone through all these laws.
All right, we're going to be going on a short break, viewers, and I know that this has been a very interesting conversation. As a matter of fact, I'm itching to actually put KIBO on the spot, because there are 2-3 other areas we must explore, especially the role of business in ensuring we have very safe roads. And then as soon as we're back from the break, the conversation continues.
Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Entel 4G.
Entel. Live more.
Thank you. If you've just joined us, this is Business Matters, and in the studio with me is the Zonal Commanding Officer for Zone 2, which oversees Lagos and Ogun State, in the person of ACM Peter KIBO, and we are looking at the topic, the role of business in optimizing road safety, especially in Nigeria. And so, sir, before we went on that short break, we've looked at some of those aspects, especially distractions. So one of the areas, and I know I'm going to go into, is the area of the driver's license. And we know we have the driving schools who are there to obviously help in terms of helping us to learn how to drive and learn the rules and regulations so that we don't become one of those transgressors. But we also realize that we see people with the learner permit on major highways or major express roads. Do they have any business in those places?
The person, nobody that is not licensed to drive is supposed to be seen on the busy roads. If you are learning how to drive, you remain within your school, I mean the driving school, until you are qualified and you are licensed to drive. Somebody with L is already telling us that he's not licensed to drive, and he has no business being in a busy road. In fact, we don't want to see such people on the road because they are not licensed to drive. They are a nuisance on the major roads. They're supposed to be restricted to areas that are not very busy until they got their certificate. And when they get their certificate, the next thing to do is to start processing their driver's license before they can confidently be on the major road. That is another aspect that many people that are having L don't know. You see somebody with L, he thought that he has arrived. He never arrived as far as driving is concerned. He still have a long way to go. So please let those who have L know that they are not permitted to be on the major roads.
So, but the driver's license is a major quagmire, especially in our society. What are the process or procedure to actually acquire the driver's license? And what is the official price for this? A lot of us just seem a little bit confused about that. I'm going to ask that, and you know I will.
Yes, you see, there is no confusion in this regard if you actually listen to our public enlightenments everywhere telling you, most of the motoring public, that to acquire driver's license, it involves three bodies. It's a tripartite form of arrangement between the Board of Internal Revenue, the vehicle inspection officers, and the Federal Road Safety. And each of these bodies have a role to play before you can get your driver's license. And to start with the driving schools, you find out that these driving schools, the VIO, all have if you are applying a driver's license for the first time, you must go through driving schools. And these driving schools are certified by Federal Road Safety. That is to show you that we know that they are qualified. They have what it takes to make sure that any intending driver that go through that place, you should not only how to drive, but also the rules and regulations of driving. And of course, we have the VIO that ensure that you must be able to drive. That is, they will test and know that yes, when you are giving a driver's license, you are qualified to be given a driver's license. And of course, the Board of Internal Revenue, when you pay the revenue for that particular driver's license, our own in this regard is just to capture, to make sure that that driver's license is our database, and is to maintain uniformity and standard all over the country. And that is why we are there. So ours is the end result of your processes of getting driver's license.
Is there any role with regards to road maintenance? Because you see a lot of roads which are bad, which oftentimes constitute threat and, of course, engender lives. And those are issues of road safety that we can't shy away from.
You see, as we have a department of research, and that department is involved in collating and making sure all the black spots, dangerous areas where the road is bad, are collated and sent for the further necessary action to the government. Apart from that, also you find out that some corporate organizations also come in, as you have rightly pointed out. The issue of road is everybody's responsibility, both the corporate organization, the business class, and the farmers,
even
whatever.
Market woman.
So everybody should have a stake in making sure that our roads are good. And we should not also contribute in spoiling our road. That's another aspect.
Now, we look at the issue of where you're driving and somebody hits another person, or there is a slight or major accident, and everybody comes out of their cars, and it becomes an exchange of grammar. And at the end of the day, it is bringing about road blockage, and that itself can actually constitute a threat to road safety. And so one wonders, isn't comprehensive insurance very appropriate to address all of these, skirmishes on the road, rather than third-party insurances?
Yes, comprehensive insurance is important, but that's not the issue. The issue is the attitude of the people involved. By staying there to fight, it does not solve anything. So I think we better have a refocus on when there's a problem on the road. Staying there on the road is more dangerous than what happened, because more of that can happen. Accident can occur, gridlock is there. So the best thing when there's a confusion there is to settle off the road, from the road, not on the road and start to extend. And that doesn't even show. As a gentleman, you should reflect, because some of the people, because of range on the road, try to show their real character. And as a gentleman, you should be able to control your emotion and settle it in a civilized way, not on the road.
So imagine if you have insurance. I simply just give you my insurance details, and then you give me yours, and then the insurance company settles it.
Of course, without being on the road.
Without being on the road. So, I mean, that
is
itself makes sense. So that's huge business.
Yeah,
and I wonder why the insurance companies don't do a lot of campaigns with regards to this. Because every time wasted, especially if you're in the logistics business, and you have a dispatch to make, and then somebody is telling you, I'm going to be there in 30 minutes, and then you face this kinds of situation on the road, obviously that is telling on your business. So I wonder why insurance companies don't explore this. Is there some kind of collaboration between you?
The point I'm trying to make to you that even we discover that in this type of scenario that we have just painted,
yes,
it's some of them are even insured. Some of these vehicles, but the attitude of the people, the occupants, the drivers involved will always like to reflect their character on the road, and it's not the best. Most of these vehicles are insured, but the brand there, the driver there, want to solve it on the road because he felt that the other person has no right to hit it away, which is true, but it can't be solved on the road.
On the road. All right, sir, because we have run out of time, but before I let you go, I'm going to ask you a question, and I know it might seem a little bit controversial or provocative. Would you recommend psychiatric tests for every single driver on the road, especially in Lagos? People oftentimes who come from Abuja will tell you Lagos is a madness junction. They don't want to know how do we even cope in Lagos State? Yes,
we have that type of test, but we don't call it psychiatric test because some people used to be offended by that word. They call it a psychological evaluation test, which is the same thing.
Psychological evaluation
test. And we do it on critical offenses like one way. You cannot imagine somebody in his right senses to follow one way. How dangerous, how disastrous that could be. So any the offense.
But some people tell you that there are no signs to show that this is a one-way route or this is a way that is two ways.
Whichever way it is, the following one way is a very, very serious offense. The road safety don't take it for granted. That is why sometimes we refer you to psychological evaluation test to ensure that are you actually mentally balanced to look at one way and feel that that is the way you must go, because that is the type of offense that can cause a lot of accident, a disastrous, fatal accident on the spot. In most cases, for not the fault of the person who is following one way.
Yes, that's true.
So we find it difficult to believe that is why we subject such type of persons to psychological evaluation. And we do it everywhere, especially Lagos Ibadan Expressway, where some people will just face one way. Once we get that type of person, definitely we have to send him for a physical and psychological evaluation test.
I want to say a big thank you, sir. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but you can be rest assured that we're going to be inviting you on this program or any other programs because we know we can never have enough of road safety awareness and editions so that businesses themselves know the roles they have to play. And I'm glad there are collaborative opportunities with the FRSC and then definitely with, of course, with the media, which is NTA, Africa's largest television network. Thank you so very much for honoring our invitation.
We are at your service.
All right. Viewers, that's so much we can take on this particular edition, the role of business in optimizing road safety. Just as you heard from the zonal commanding officer, we all have a role to play, and your own quota will definitely make a whole lot of difference, especially in enabling a business environment that will be beneficial for every single one of us. Please stay tuned. Business Matters continue.
Business matters. Let's talk business. Business matters.
A little distraction can actually create mishap, and there are different laws on the road that we must all obey. we must also understand that the different actions and attitudes that we have definitely demonstrated on the road can actually be very, very disastrous if we are transgressing the road safety laws. It is your responsibility as well as my responsibility to make sure that when we drive on our roads, we do that according to how is expected in a civilized environment. Road safety is all of our concerns, and so we must contribute our own quota to ensuring we have safer roads. This is so much we will bring to you on this week's edition of Business Matters. Please follow us on our different social media handles as well as explore our website for more details on our different programs. My name is Stephen Ipalbo Lawson. Until I come your way again, remember, be safe on the roads. Bye-bye for now.